Welcome to CathyDSlaught's SRC4u Zoom call for June 17, 2021. To access the client Zoom call, we're going to scroll down her website and look for the banner for Zoom. And we'll click here. Now this is just a demonstration of the SRC4u software as entertainment. If you would like to be part of her client list through the demonstration, it's a monthly fee and you would click here to sign up. But we're going to click here. This is going to take us over to the Zoom platform where we will allow. It is connecting and we are live.
That back scan is quite interesting. It's powerful and you get such information. It's all subtle information, but I'll give you a quick example. I had a call last night from someone who nothing has helped. She lives in physical pain and she's tried it all. If you think of it, she's probably tried it. And she's a very gifted individual. She's 70 years old, knows her energy. And she mentioned, and I think Kevin knows about this because he had a discussion also, it turns out her mother, she's adopted, but her mother is, her birth mother had been in a concentration camp. And apparently, we think of concentration camps as for Jewish, but there were many, many groups. And she's from, I believe, Romania. Our mother was. And so she had horrendous, and as an example, not to horrify you for the rest of the day, but on her 18th birthday, what she had was a boiled cat. That's how bad it was. So,
a boiled what?
C-A-T, cat. So what happens is this woman, even though she was adopted at birth, was in that woman for 9 months. And when I did the scan, and one scan isn't going to do it. This is the persistence, I believe, that we need. But what it came up was in a very dark place and can't get out or something to that effect. So how much of an impact is the cellular memory? The truth is we don't know. Right. The more we learn, the less we realize we know. But I can't think of anything better than the SRC to disclose that kind of information, and then our CPU, the brain, gets started. Plus, we do the frequency, and what you're going to see in that movie, that 2-hour movie, is the true power of this. It's very exciting. For me, it was a little hard to get into. I had a lot of things on my mind, but all of a sudden, it just clicked. And that's why I want to watch it again and see what you think. Now let's go in and see where we are. We already scanned. We don't want to do any home or crystal or business or anything. Let's see if we need a thymus cocktail today.
Cathy, do you know the name of the movie?
I don't have it in front of me, but it's in the VSA. Okay, yeah, so we're going to ask for the thymus cocktail today, and I have been doing these things 3 times, and that also indicates we might want to make it a point to do a thymus tap today. And let's just get a little idea. Because the thymus is the center of love, and we did not, for the most part, I didn't know it. But it is right there behind the heart. And let's just take a quick look. We don't really have to do any more than that, but it's interesting. There we go. So it's in reference to blood. And you might remember we worked with blood yesterday as well.
Right.
And we can always take this. See, in addition to blood, we have a little stress related to holding on to the past. And, you know, that's kind of like Lot's wife. That might have been a little message to us when Lot's wife turned back to, i.e., look at the past. She turned into a pillar of salt. Clear non-acceptance of self. Now this, let's just go ahead and do the Gong. We could do yes therapy. We could do the recharger. For those that aren't working with those tools. Here's our 0. It's a very interesting. I don't know why that scanned it twice. Clear, uneasy with love. And that's what I'm doing with the back thing, is I'm going in to see how many of these have a code, and if so, can we, you know, just do one quick scan and do it this way and get our information, and do what, you know, the Gong, etc. But you can, if you start checking, you can just pick these days to do your thymus tap, the days it comes up that you're wanting that extra energy. And let's see if we want the voltage. And we did not, by the way, want a clearing today. I had tested that already. So now do we want the back scan? It's really not quite ready, but let's just see. Good. It's not ready. It'll probably be a cocktail. But then I went ahead and scanned our personal and general options, and our focus is conflict. And some of these, it's interesting to then make an Excel spreadsheet. And let's do that with this and see where that is today. Okay, so there's blood again. You see that? We're getting lots of information. It's all subtle, but we're definitely getting the information that we need to focus in on that. All right, let's see. I had done the Pro Tools for liver.
Well, you put the blood in there a few times, didn't you?
Yeah, we're definitely, it's in there. So we'll focus on, you know, our original intent. But let's do this again. Let's just see where we are. But this would be where, you know, a person could say, you know, oops, didn't mean to put a good thing. They could do a little of their own reading. They could pull up some of their own codes, etc., etc. And you notice how that came. You know, there is, I think, the more I learn, no real good or bad. It's just we're in school. Well, let's see what that stress level is. Let's just go ahead for now and put it in the Gong. Aspergillus. Then we've got, this is interesting, conscious, stress related to the conscious mind. And it's almost like your conscious mind makes your template, even perhaps in terms of sacred geometry. That could be all the things coming in, the images, etc., from the environment. And then that's what sets things in place. Let's just see what we're talking about here on a stress level. Okay, so that stress, that's very interesting. So however you want to interpret that, stress related perhaps to what we allow our conscious mind to dwell on. Here we have girdle meridian. Okay, let's look in the dispenser while we're waiting on that. Just take a peek up at those superfoods in case anybody has any on hand or is going to be getting some groceries today. I don't even know what that is. Does anybody know what that is? Cricket kale or some strange thing? Scallops, cabbage. But anyway, you get an idea here. I don't know about that soy, but it's in there. Let's go ahead. We're just asking for 5 minutes in reference to the liver for the dispenser. Chinese pathogens, we could always just go into the pathogen panel. We'll come back to that. And cycles, that's interesting also, because I guess we have to have a little of each. We're not going to, what do they say, you wouldn't enjoy golf if every shot was a hole-in-one?
At least one time it would be fun.
Yeah, that's right. I agree. we would like a happy medium on these things. Okay, now let's go down to the bottom. We see circulation. What I personally have been doing, which you may have your own way, is I just go in here and let's just do priority for chi. Let's just put that one in. Okay, so we could use that one. Let's put that in. Well, I guess we want to just clear that. It's a negative thing. Let's see where we are with it. Okay. Oh.
Wow.
What does that even mean?
I'm glad you said that. I have never been sure. I always kind of think of it as, you know, keeping in shape by walking and doing, but what does it mean? Anybody have any more information for us on that?
I just always thought it was your overall well-being.
Yeah, I always associated it with taking a walk. I must have known someone who said, okay, I'm going off for my constitution. So I'll look it up if you get a chance, and I will too.
Okay.
It looks like we need to.
I don't have my phone here. I'd look it up. So
yeah,
sorry.
That would be wonderful if anybody's able. This amoeba thing pops up too. We need to probably do more looking into that. Okay, so what I personally have been doing is I go down. It's the high ones, and when the first one I come to, that's a low number, then I just go ahead and finish. And so we've got a few more things for the liver, and we're just going to end up with a cocktail similar to these others, but holding back of emotions, and some of this stuff in this book, he can be rather harsh. So he pretty much tears you apart in reference to the liver, but it's information. Let's go ahead and add some of these things. Anxiety.
Is that encyclopedia you were talking about?
Yep, I love it. Yep. It's amazing, but it takes you some time, but it's worth it. And not everything in it is going to apply to every person. And some of that, of course, is going to be heredity, which our own scan told us. So this was an interesting terminology he had, polluted liver. That's an interesting thought. Let's see where we are as a group. And not a real high, but let's go ahead and put it in here. Discouragement. Remember, the codes are a good thing. despair, this fear of deprivation, and it seems with the liver to be significant because that's where your people are eating perhaps things they shouldn't be eating and drinking and so on and so forth. That could be a cellular memory, as you know, of famine.
Or a mother in a concentration camp.
Got it. You got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is where, that should be a D, they build up unnecessary reserves. This might even be related to hoarding.
Did you say hoarding?
Yes.
In a prepper.
Well, it may not be related to that, but when you have, you know, to have certain things, I know there are different religious groups, Mormons, etc., that believe in that. But when you've got your whole house full of it, and especially if it's hoarding, furnishings, papers, etc., like that, you can't part with it. You know, there's something to think about there again, over accumulation. All apparently tied into the liver.
Wow.
I'm sure it's not the only issue. Some of it is just because we have been blessed with material possessions in this country and access to them. Want to devour everything for fear of being needy. Again, I'm just taking what he says, and often what turns up is a code. But these are just some things to think about. Let's just see if we want the cellular memory cocktail today. Be an image actually that we have. Yeah, we do. So let's just see. Well, let's just go to our Pro Tools, Reiki, and the issue solver. That'll take. Let's just go through the issue solver now together. Let's look at the Reiki as well.
Maybe we should put blood in the issue solver.
Thank you. I think you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're asking for the wonder click. So while that calibrates and clears resistance, let's put blood in. Any other suggestions? Cellular memory?
Yeah, it's great.
Well, there comes that ego again. Maybe ego.
Maybe we should put that in there.
Yeah. I think that can really make things interesting, that ego. As we learn some of these things that sound borderline crazy, maybe the ego doesn't want it. Allergies. You know, please give suggestions. I'm going to put allergies. And then I'm going to put crown chakra. And you all know about the putting a little dab of frankincense on the crown chakra.
A crown chakra?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it down my neck.
You can do that too, but they say during the night when you sleep, it's a good idea to put it on the crown.
Oh.
We came up in another form too with the girdle meridian, so we'll go in there and look at some of that. This is are you familiar with this concept? I think shouting, what it means here.
Mm-mm.
That that's where you feel nobody is hearing you. Now, this mutated or degenerative cellular damage comes up. It comes up because we're constantly repairing. This is etheric. Let's go ahead and put it in here. But, you know, for the person having a gallon of ice cream every night at bedtime or 3 or 4 glasses of wine, they might want to look at that, look at the sugar content. Words to ponder. Why do you have to put your 2 cents in, but it's only a penny for your thought? Where's the extra penny? I wonder if we're thinking of some insignificant things. And that resistance factor is allergy. So let's go ahead. We've got room for 10 and we've got one more. What would you think? Any suggestions?
How about the heart chakra with everything that's going on here lately?
Okay, that sounds good. I'm just going to go ahead and do it for the 71 since it's a group. And I do like to ordinarily test. And that looks like I've gotten everything. Okay, that one is done. That's our dispenser. Now, here's our, we've also been doing, I'm trying to do this just once a day in keeping with what Ralph said, not to, let it rest. But for example, here's where we were yesterday. Internal healing capabilities is pro. And then we want to clear outside non-beneficial influences. And we're at a negative on that at this moment in time. Let's go ahead and start that. And then, what was I thinking? I guess I'll think of it later. There was something else with the dispenser. But it looks like that's it right now. Let's see, we're going to go 2 hours with the pathogen panel. So that's where we are today.
This concludes the SRC4u Zoom call for June 17, 2021. Thank you for attending. We look forward to seeing you again. Till then, take care and be well.